Good afternoon, traders. Welcome to TradeSetup in the live stream for the 16th of February 2017. So this year's flying along so far. Hasn't been such a bad day today. We've actually been doing all right on that. We've got a pretty much a full house on the trade alert. Sorry, the TradeSetup alerts at the moment. So I'm just watching something else. And all going quite well. So out of 10, we've got one that's in the red at the moment. Cut a couple of positions. We've got one that's probably about to get stopped out. But apart from that, there's some ones that are kicking along. So we'll go along those, go over those in a minute. Just a bit of housekeeping as usual. You can go through, follow us on Twitter if you can. So anyone new that hasn't heard this rant before, follow us on Twitter in the top left-hand corner. Or you can join us on Facebook. Follow us on Facebook. Or just subscribe to the YouTube channel, which is down the bottom right-hand corner. And also, if you like what you're seeing, Phil, you're more than welcome to leave a like at the end of the video, or even put in some comments if you like. If you don't like it, then don't do it. Anyway, that'd be great, hey guys. We're going to go through the markets as per usual. We'll go through, have a quick look at the US, see what the ASX is doing. We want to focus more on the ASX, and we're going to look at some currencies as well. Obviously, you just want to look at, we're being led, obviously led a lot by the US and what's going on over there. But we're coming up with some key levels, and I think we just had a bit of a washout to the top side today, and we just roll over a bit. At the moment, we're down probably about 8 points, but nothing significant. We'll just look at the technicals there, look at the currencies, what they're doing, and a couple of alerts that we're looking at on currencies. They're not the same as the ASX, obviously, with regards to entries, but it's more directional bias, what we want to get out at the moment, and just for anyone that trades currencies. We had a bit of few people actually asking about it, so a bit of interest there. What else we got? Okay, well, might as well get into it. And just remember that when we're going along, if you want to chat about something, anything at all, it doesn't have to be just straight stocks. You can talk about some currencies. If there's something you're looking at, yeah, please just whack it up into the chat, put the code up around it, and we'll take a look at it. Anyway, bear with me there, guys. All right, what do we got here? We got the ASX is down 7 to 8 points at the moment, which is not too bad. You can see we go down. That's not what I want to look at. Look at the actual open, and this is what probably why we've had a bit of reaction today. More than likely, you can see we're up at those. We'll drill in on that a bit more. We're up at those highs. What was that? 58.27. 58.27. We touched on 33 today, 58.33 highs, and then we just backed off. Nothing to say we don't hold this level and just work our way higher during the day or into the close. And a lot of the action's happening overnight. We tend to be building bases during the day, and then we follow on with it overnight and kick on. So we'll see how that goes, but that's a key level. I'd love to see some more confidence that we're going to be targeting that 6,000. I think we sent an alert yesterday on it. Sorry, let me just change over something else. You're going to get a black screen in a minute. That's better. That's better. But don't worry, we're just changing over the it's on the stream IT stuff. I don't know what I'm doing there, but anyway, that's worked out. So we can see where were we? So the market's kicked up. We want to see a close above 58.27, not just a bit of a washout, but we'll look at the half an hour chart as well in a second. Not necessarily just a washout. I want to see it close above there, and that's going to be a good sign that we're going to kick on through to 6,000. I think that's the next port of call, really. If we go back to just remembering the weekly, 6,000 was a good little reaction up there. We've headed up, backed off there, touched down at 4,700 and just been working our way high since. And again, on a weekly basis, there's the anchor's way down at 50.50, so it could easily punch up through there and roll over and get a bit extended up there, but we'll see how it goes. It's looking good either way. It's been to a T what we said is played out. We were looking for this 56 to hold up, and you can see that the way the price action was at that time, you expected a washout, which we got, and then the market's just headed higher. It's a bit harder to trade that as such. But then we're looking for, as long as we've got a break through this, I don't know if you can see it, it's probably this little high of 56.70. As long as we got to push up through there, then it was on. And the next target was up towards 5800. So that's so far so good. It's been playing out quite nicely. Has anyone else got any other views on the ASX? The bulls or the bears? Which side of the fence do you sit on there? I'm just watching the SPY at the moment, just for a bit of a look. This is what this is a chart on the futures. You can see that was a key level of markup in the morning. It's just washed out there. Major. It was more on the half an hour chart that it busted through. That was an anchor chart, anchor level support around the 57.38 on a 30-minute, and it's just popped up through there. So now it's looking like I was about to look at taking a long up there, but yeah, a bit too close to the time. But it's looking. We'll just see how that goes. I'm expecting it to pop up. Test maybe back up to here, 57.65. Maybe not today, but squeeze out a few of these sellers that have joined in the fray down here, because this push below that support line, it's not convincing. You wanted to see this, and this type of price action is not convincing that we're going to go bang straight back down again, and the bears are taking control. That was more choppy action, and then more contractive action, which suggests another leg at least. Something like this. If we got that, something up towards that 56, 57.60, but keep an eye on it, guys. I'll keep an eye on this during our talk just to see how it goes and see if it plays out like we expect. But you can see these. The key thing we're looking at, say on this trade here, is at 44. You can see that low at 44, wash out at 44, retest only a minor level, and then it took off and break this this high here only by a point again, 50. So we could just chop around in between here, but I think if we get up through 48, 49 through here, then we're probably going to be on. We'll see if we can kick up to at least this high, 57, even higher, even up to this 57.65. But that's what I was looking at only a few minutes ago, and probably was a couple of minutes late. Does anyone out there trade the SPY a bit or the ASX200? This is very short-term stuff, guys, so don't be put off too much, but they're pretty much the price action. What we look at for is same thing. Most time frames. It gets a bit choppier on the lower time frames sometimes, but they're a bit cleaner on the daily. But even when we talk about washouts, you can't argue that this is not a washout on 56 on the ASX anyway. Any questions just at the moment? We're going to go through a few of the ASX stuff in just a minute. We'll go through, actually, we'll just talk about it now. Just want to go over a few of the alerts. We've got some that are kicking off really nicely. We've got ALU, Altium Limited, which done a bit today. It's picked up a bit, not much of a different day, but you can see we've been looking at this as support, which is probably better if I get it in here. Let me just get those up there, guys. Just 1 minute there. Oh no. Altium. Oh dear. Oh yeah. All right. So we had that support down at 750, which we've been looking at for quite a while. We'll just drill in that. And really just hoping that was holding. You could see the market was, crunching down into that. That was holding. It was trying to hold, 770 thereabouts, and then busted through that and got down to 750. Which is only really a retest of that support line there, and where it broke out to. So it all sort of played into it. Some good support. Buyers were soaking it up there. Then we got this little pop up through here, which has taken out that contraction in my book. As you can see, the lower highs building, and once you get this sort of extension move up, that was really starting to look good. And then what we're looking at for is this high low to hold around 8, and then we got in around, I don't know on that one. Let me just see the price. What are we looking at? ALU 850, I think, 845. So I was on this can. This can looked really good, but I didn't want to buy it at the high, so I just put in a bid at 845, which got done, and then away we go. So it's looking great. That's playing out quite nicely. What else we got here? So A2M, big day yesterday, and a good news announcement, and just caved in. So yeah, probably it tends to do that a lot. Wash out these highs and then pop back down. So we'll just see. We've got a partial on that one. I think we've taken a partial on that, which is good. Yep, we've taken a partial around 12% gain on that. We're sitting at about 10% at the moment, so we'll see if we get stopped out. I think it's at 225, the exit price down here. So if it happens to pull all the way back down here and then bounce out, we're out. Too bad. We've made some good money, so that's all right. That's turned out quite well. This can provide a short-term influence. Yeah, no, option expiry can. They tend to, I don't know why, that's just mucks around. The prices are jumping around, so it can be a bit choppy during those days, which then again can lead to some good price action. Just an update on the SPY. Oh, my mouse just dies. Come on. You can see that's it just did kick up. We just tagged 49, but we'll see if this low can hold up here. If that can hold up, then we bust up through. We could take out a few of these. I think there's some short positions. If they build up here, bust through those highs, then I think it's off. You know, keep an eye on it. AMP will do. Look, I might as well get into that now. What do we got here? This is A2 Milk, AJM. What's happening there? That's a really slow moving boat. It doesn't do a lot at the moment. Hasn't picked up. But you can see that price has been grinding. The stochastic's actually grinding down and holding high lows, which is quite positive. I find that quite positive. And I find this price action to spend a lot of time down here, you know, say from mid-August through to pretty much start of the year, and it started lifting off there. So it looks good. We'll see how that goes. AJX back down to where we got him, which is a bummer. We got caught with this little breakout, expected to go on quite strong. It didn't just roll over. Missed our stop by 0.5 cent. So I might look at raising that above here somewhere just to, I think if this becomes a lower high, if we don't see the next day or so something happen, lower high, then I think it's going to take out 62 anyway. Let's see how we go. That's we got on that. AMA, looking good. Taking a profit at 114. Hopefully that can kick on. It's a bit extended though, so this is a good example. That market, you can see that it's just bang, near vertical. So you do, most times when you see that type of price action, you expect steam to be taken out of the market. And for that to just at least have retreat a bit. The problem is we don't know where. That's why I'm always happy when you see, going up into a resistance level, up towards that 114, 13 sort of zone from the previous high. It washed out there previously, then rolled over. Big washout down below. But anyway, that's when you see prices on the stochastics and it's extended up there, and you've got it and it hasn't pulled back. I'm happy to take some off the table, just erring on the side of caution, I guess. We've done that, and we'll just see how this plays out. But I think we've got our stops somewhere in the mix up here. Just if it does get done, then we'll reassess it. IFN still looking good. Taking profit on that, just grinding and grinding and grinding. That we've got to be careful of that one. That could easily roll over. So we've got our stop on our second half, still in a little bit of profit, but we'll just see if we can drag some more out of that. So far, so good, all good. This is one that I think MVP I've spoken about quite a few times. Just watch this price action. We've got an alert on for 540. If it tags 540, we expect that is going to continue higher. And you can see these, it's touched down at 5 and it started to hold some higher lows the last few days, but it's just struggling up at sort of that, what's that there, or that high 530. So yeah, if that kicks on, that'd be great. And I think that just, I'd love to be in that. We are expecting some sort of news release that could really trigger a good run. The FDA approval out of the US on their Penthrox drug. Now, if that news comes out, it gaps up, then you just have to sit back and just see if you can get in and on pullback rather than just chase it up on the open. So just be wary of that, and that's one little word of advice, I guess. SAS did the same thing. That did well. It gapped up at 11. I thought it was going to open 11.5. We got done on a partial on that one. It looks great. But you don't want that to happen. Gap up, you get into something, and then it rolls over and you sit there behind the 8 ball for a long time when you can get a nice little entry on a pullback. Don't like buying into a gap. All right, we've got Michael. What we're looking at, AMP. There's not much to look at. Just lastly, WBC. That's been nice, but that's starting to get a bit. This is one that just alerted to, not just today, I think it was. Just take a look at you know, as an example of when things get a bit stretched, the price structure is awesome on this. It's kicked up, had a good little correction. The MAs are still held. It's contracted in on itself. It was getting bought up in here, and you can see the stochastics are starting to rise. A little bit of a spike down, not to take out the lows, couldn't do that, and we started perking up. We got that little entry at 32.50, which is nice, and it's kicked on. It is getting extended to upside, but just look what happened previously. You know, there's no reason to get out when it's extended as such, unless, you know, like I said, I'm probably happy around 34, maybe take some off the table, purely because it's into a resistance level and you expect some sort of reaction. And if coupled with being extended into that zone is, I mean, not a bad reason just to take some profit off the table, because a lot of time if you do get reaction, it comes all the way back down. You could get another nab at it for another half or whatever you want to do, but it's always good to book profits. I like it. What about you guys? But yeah, that looks good either way. But just look what it can stay extended for quite a while. If you look at, say, on that count, well, it's not even that. So this time here it was extended to the upside and then just kept going for another, what, look at 32.50 up to 34, so it was about the same. At two, was it $1.50, 2.50? So it's doing well. Anyway, AMP. Sorry, Michael, getting sidetracked again. What do we got here? We'll start on a monthly. Anything else, guys? Just whack it in. Getting a nab on with respect. Oh, what do I got here? Oh, this is just a heads up, guys. This, I like this. Look at that. This is Whitehaven. I think I got crucified a long time ago. As when I was a broker, I remember this getting poleaxed. Some mine flooded or whatever, and it's got absolutely hammered. Actually, we'll show you. It was back in 2011. So yeah, yeah, all the way down. It looks like it's picking up a bit now. That daily price action is looking good. You can see the contraction in, holding higher lows, lower highs, and it's just starting to pick up to the top side, which means you'd think it's just broken out of contraction if you just draw across the tops. I think as of today, so that's going to come on the cards very soon, I'd say, if we can get a nice little entry. Again, sorry, Michael, sidetracked again. No, SPY's not looking as good as it did a second ago. Let me draw this up. We'll go to the monthly, only because the monthly is sort of, I know it's a long time frame. Yeah. See, Dev, you're learning something from me. So if you see there's comments that are coming up while I'm talking, that'd be David. He's giving me a bit of stick, but he likes it. What am I doing? All right, this is a monthly on you didn't know. Oh no, it's not. Why has that changed? Monthly. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Sorry, I just took out that last candle. Get a better view of it. All right. So you can see it's really hanging around down those lows. It's holding these higher lows. Just say we'll take it across. Just take it across the top. It looks like we're starting to lift up a bit. You know, we've had a key lower high there, so we've had the lower high projected all the way down into 350. Market got sold heavily. We built all the way back up, broke down up here where we double tapped the double top at about 11, and then started rolling over. And you can see that initial this. If you see stuff like this, guys, just as a heads up, especially if you, I use this as a guide, not a hard and fast rule. You know, rising support, it washes out down, you know, through that support quite significantly like that, and then you get this double top. It's really got to get through there to be proven wrong, and if it can't, and then you get a couple of negative bars, it's a good potential. You can just enter. You know, you could have had a little entry through 10 as a short, But and especially you think, okay, that the longer term trend is down. This is on a monthly, isn't it? So probably you'd see something different on a weekly, daily. But if you're just talking pure technicals, if you see that on a daily structure, not a bad effort. Or if you're long, just be wary, especially when you get these big washouts of supports. Um, so we've had that little push up and then roll over. So that's a major lower high, major lower high. Thing is, we come back down to that most recent low at say 350, touch there, rejected that zone. You can see this candle here, just through here. Oh, draw that in. Rejected it quite good, and it had a couple of days or a couple of months really is holding up those highs. Had a big push up, not a big push up to about 7, and then we roll over and retested it. And we've been retesting it since. So that's really just contracting, and then we've got it's only recently on a monthly basis where we've got this massive long-term 2004, 2002. What's that? 2009. We touched down there. 2012. So a long time. And it's really been struggling. And then it's only recently, well, recently, 2014, 2015. So recently with this chart, we popped up. If this was a lower high, and it was going to be quite a strong market, you'd expect it to get sold off through 350. I think my batteries are running out of my mouse, so there we go. You'd expect that to sell off down through 350, but it didn't. It held up and it built that higher low at a 4, and then it started lifting up. And we got that recently broke through that lower high, just below 6. So really this price action is starting to perk up on a monthly. It's not looking too bad. You really do need that $4 hold. If this is going to lift, you want it to lift from here. So let's go down to a weekly just to see. We're just going to concentrate on this price action now, even a daily, see what that's showing us. Now the weeklies, it's not extended to the upside. Oh, it is getting a bit extended to the upside. So you probably would like to see, I would prefer to see a bit of contraction. Is that? I'd probably want to see a bit of contraction. Although it's starting to not look too bad. So I'm just trying to build a picture there for Michael. So with the daily, we know that's extended, but you've got that most recent price action on the weeklies is pushing lower, holding lower highs. We haven't really broken anything. We could break up here, through 540, lift up to here and just roll over again. You could wash it out like we did here and then roll over. You don't know. So there's nothing too confirmed. It's the same as what we look at on a daily. You want to see it lift up through. I'd ideally like to see that lift through here, or even if we've got this sort of downtrending channel, a major higher low build. So we can hold within that channel, but you want to see it push down and then start doing a bit of contraction, for a lift up through. And you'd probably find that resistance is going to head down. It's going to be a bit lower at that stage. So if you get a bit of contraction around here and hold a major lower high compared to this 440 zone, then that could be enough oomph to actually kick it up and through and out of this contraction lower on the weekly basis anyway. Either that, or we just, we bust up through 540, we might back off. We want to see that push up through. I'll draw this properly. Oh. You want to see, potentially that's the resistance line here. You want to see that push up through, and then I'd like maybe a bit of back and fill, a bit lower, and then holding some higher lows. And that's your initial heads up that things are starting to head higher. There's buyers stepping in, soaking up all the selling. We're starting to look at breaking out of that contraction. Remember, we go from contraction to expansion. Just keep that in the back of your head. We're contracting lower. We want to take advantage of a potential new leg higher. If it's on a weekly, we want to look to our dailies for our triggers. And if we can get that with this type of price action on a daily basis, then ideal, we're getting in nice and early on a potential leg up. We busted out. We've got the heads up here. If we draw that, we've got heads up that things are happening. Then we've got our lower highs building here, which is nice. And then if we can just break one of those lower highs, and we're holding higher lows, we'll break a little lower high, then away we go. But there's all probably a bit of work to do by the looks of it. If we get into a daily, let's just see what the daily is showing us. Yeah, it's still pretty much the same price action as a weekly. You bust up through here. We could hold that downtrending channel. You want to see some work done. We're getting extended up here too, so up towards 540, getting a bit extended. So just keep an eye on it. It's definitely on the longer term, like I'm talking monthly, weekly, we're setting up potentially, but considering the time frames, it could take forever. It could take a long time anyway. So you could pretty much use your capital somewhere else, I guess. AAD, sorry there, John. And I know Clement was looking at BRN again. You sent me a chart on it, so I'll take a look at that too. If in case I forget, it's up to you, Dav, to remind me. All right, AAD. Again, we'll have to go at the bigger picture view. Just go out. Actually, you can see it. Probably don't need to go out that far. So just remember this it's come off here, it's pushed straight up. Now, okay, it's back in 2008, GFC got smashed. Since then, 2009, it's pretty much when the market, the overall ASX started lifting. We haven't really, well, we've probably gone a bit better than the ASX, I say. Holdings higher lows, longer term. So if we get into the weekly, you can see the high lows a bit better. And we've got this good leg up through 2012 to 2015, highs up to 350, backed off. If we're looking to buy this, I think it's got a bit of work to do, like quite a bit of work. Just looking at this weekly, the daily we're getting extended up here, but we're probably easiest to focus on, I think, the weekly. It's probably showing a better picture. So we're going to focus on just this last bit of price action because we know, I guess the idea is that we've had that leg up, price is contracting, we've held some lower highs. You know, and this whatever happened that week got poleaxed. I don't know. But just that's contractive action, maybe a bit of consolidation, but it's a massive range between 290 and 180, 170. So you'd want to, rather than just buy it down towards it, you don't sit on the bid down here because it could easily roll over and through. You want to see the price action holding some higher lows in the daily, but it's not doing that at the moment. But just saying all that, we'll just concentrate on the weekly, just this latest price action and see what it shows. Alrighty. We can all see that. So you can see it's held that 175, and we have got a bit of a washout there. Massive rejection there, but it did touch down there. So just another thing, this is not preaching, I guess, but I know a lot of people look at the close. You know, this candle, you don't look at the candle, you look at the open, the close. As long as it closes above it, I still think if it trades down there, whether it's a wick on a candle or not, it's still traded there. So it's traded that price, so it's done something. And for me, it's more, you know, I take that as the lows down here that's not on the close of the candle. You know, I'm not necessarily looking at the close of the candle because it has traded there. It's washing people out, whatever it's done, but it's the fact that it's been bought up off there is more important to see than the closes on, you know, that close of that candle. So I hope, does that make sense? I guess what I'm trying to say. Susan, sorry. Are we getting a live stream through, guys? Did you not hear my talking? Susan, sorry. Are we getting a live stream through, guys? I just saw Susan's. That's all good? Hear my talking? Susan, sorry. Okay, fantastic. Are we getting a live stream through, guys? I just saw Susan's. Bear with me, it might be an echo. Let's mute that. So I'm trying to work out in my head what's going on. Right, all good. So back to AAD or Dreamworld. Yeah, no, true. So you got that poleaxed down there. It's holding another little high low, but it's still holding. You know, the thing is we've got up through here, 290, bit of a washout there. That's not a good sign. And then you got obviously poleaxed down there. It's picked back up. It's pulled back. You really need it to push up through 235 to confirm that that's a higher low. And then these higher lows are holding. Otherwise, this could be a lower high. Bang, we go straight down and through. What is it? 160, 175. Sorry, 185, 175. We just go take out those lows and continue our way down because this is, in essence, we're stuck between a double bottom, strong double bottom too, because it's a weekly, and a strong double top. and we haven't got the price action on the weekly to confirm, which way we think it's going, up or down. All right, so, and if you just flick it down to the daily, I don't see too much there either, but maybe we're getting it. And even though this has happened, I still look at price action, if that makes sense. I'm not going to say, okay, because that's happened, nothing. Well, if I can figure out what I'm trying to say, I still put emphasis on the highs, the lows. I know that's got Polex, that's got sold off, but somebody still thinks it's got value down here, and all the way up here they've been buying it. So despite what's happened, what may have caused or not, people are still viewing it as it's got value and some good value, good prospects, blah blah blah. But I guess just remember that at the moment we don't know who's going to win out. Buyers from down at 205 are going to start, continue to push that market up and through 235, 240, and then you'd know that that's a high low, another high low. So you got three in a row, and it's starting to lift up, and then potentially it could just work its way up. We could roll over again up there. We could just be range trading, and then I would ideally just want to see a bit more contraction to a point where if it does go into expansion, bang, it's off. Expansion in the US. Oh, I'm not sure, to be honest. Yeah, Michael. Anyone else know about that expansion to the US? Probably is. I mean, price action doesn't look too bad there. So all in all, I think we are holding these higher lows. We're contracting lower. We don't know when that contraction is going to stop. Even on a daily basis, it hasn't really, it hasn't said anything. If you took a little long, say through here, through these highs, the MAs are against you. The major lower highs on the weeklies are against you. Nothing's really confirmed just yet. We need to get through there to show an inkling of something starting to play out. But we are extended up there. So a few things working against it. I would still like to see that contraction. Does that make sense, guys? Anything else? If it doesn't make sense there. Anything else you want to take a look at? Probably happy I didn't take that SPY all in all. There's the SPY update. Doing nothing. It pushed up, pushed below that low, but still holding. You still got still holding through here. In essence, you really got to. Oh, it's just contracting through there. So to me, that's not conducive of anything really. It's holding lower highs. That could easily, if you flick it down to lower time frame, that could easily just go pop straight down. At least retest 57.38 now, which it probably is going to do now. But we'll see how that goes, guys. Just keep an eye on it. Oop. Okay. SXY. Oh, sorry, Michael. Good one. Yeah, this is one I don't know if if anyone actually follows the alerts. We had this as an alert, and it was purely because of this weekly. See that price action there? We'll go to something else. Actually, even on a daily, it looked good. You can see, it's had this little base through here, way down at say 12, 11, 10, even 11 cents or so. Pushed it all the way down, and it got lifted off a bit, retested it, a minor high low, so it had to back and fill a bit, build that lower high in here, and then push back down into it. 11, couldn't get through again. So if there's weakness in there, some serious weakness, then that you probably would have thought that would really push lower. And then we've been holding, we've got that pop up to 30 cents, bit of it. We've sort of been consolidating between 30 and 23 for a good part of, well, close to most of the last year. Did pop up through there, may have been a news triggered, and then straight back down into that zone. But the whole time it retested, then hold some higher lows, built some higher lows. When you see this type of recent price action, that's looking good. And then you got that pop up through. I like that. And then that pullback. And going to the weekly, I really like the weekly. You can see all this all the way down. And then we've been spending a whole long, so pretty much a year consolidating through there and holding those highs. And when you see that type of price action holding the highs, you'd expect it to at least, kick up and start buyers starting to step in for another push higher, which it has done this week. It's been rejected off 40. No serious resistance up there, apart from, I think it's just the whole number resistance, maybe 40 cents. Nothing much up there, but it's on the weekly start and a bit extended, so you probably think there's going to be a bit of a pullback, and we got extended on that kick straight up through 40. But really, this could easily, pull back, build another, high low, and then go again. It could, if it holds up around 35, 36, and just holds high lows, it's going to take a bit of time. Then that could drag in some, and that's some really serious price action to really kick on strong. You start accelerating higher because people might be watching it, especially on a weekly basis. It'll push up, pull back, looking for it, miss the opportunity there, and think, okay, say this opportunity, I'll pull back here and we'll buy it, and they've missed it. It's gone bang straight up to 40. So that type of price action, and they go, okay, nice pullback to retest down at 32, and maybe we'll look at buying it there. But if it holds up here, and those people don't want to miss out, that could easily be the fuel to people sitting on the sidelines that are really kicking it up nice and strong. But it looks good. It looks good. In saying that, I wouldn't want to buy it just yet. Obviously, that big extension up to 40, overextended. Are we getting there on the weekly? I'd rather see a bit of work done. Draw that bit of work done, maybe retest at that zone, but you want to see some high lows, something like this, a bit of a wash, rejection like this, a bit of a lift, and then a bit more work done in there. That makes sense. Alrighty, let's take a look. It's AGO. Net 26. Awesome. Did you get in? Oh, you didn't get in there. Did you get in somewhere around here, Michael? Because ideally that was a really nice entry. If you got in there, I think you're doing something. You're looking really nice. See if you can ride it. Problem is, on that leg up, your stop, if you got in at 26, or the way I would hold it anyway, below the lower highs, below 26, because if it's got to come and get you, then that's right where you got in. So whether you've taken some off the table or not, or it's always good to see those sort of things go. I always get worried when we don't have a pullback or to see these things accelerate. You go, oh gosh, now what's happening? All right. 9th of December 2016. Oh, so you got in all right. Oh no, it's November. Somewhere around here, this candle here. It's not bad. You were combating that high at the moment. I think we took it somewhere around there. I can't remember. I don't remember where we had the actual alert. We did have an alert on this, and I think we got chopped out somewhere. And I basically missed this. I missed this move up here. We were thinking it was going to go up, pull back, and then look for an entry. Just missed that. AGO. How you going, Susan? By the way. What do we got? Atlas Iron, yeah. There's good volume there. Yeah, that volume's picked up the last few days. Well, November, December, January. That's good to see that those lifting with high lows. We'll just get rid of the last bit of the chart. To see this type of price action when it does nothing through here, months and months and months of nothing, and then you see that volume start to creep in and it's holding high lows. The volume's picked up, holding high lows. It's starting to accelerate there. We've had that bit of a wash to the below 4, which is nice. And that's just that, a bit of profit taken, and then bang, it's just turned around and popped straight up. For me, if I was looking at it, I think it's looking great. I mean, just looking at this most recent price action, we've had a push up, pull back, consolidate all the way through there. We've taken that out. We don't know what's going to happen from here. Starting to get extended on the upside, but that could just be, if you're measuring that leg, that sort of volatility projection up here, take it from here. It probably could take us still through 5.5, 6, maybe, before it actually backs off and just have that projection up, the acceleration higher. Sooner or later, it's probably going to be a bit of profit taken if there's people been buying it through here around 2. They double the money, triple the money at that stage if that's the case. But yeah, for me, I would just I wouldn't get in here. If I'm not in, I'm not in. Probably if I was in somewhere around here, I would more likely or not had some sort of profit target. A partial exit up here on that extension, took a partial and try to hold the next, maybe a stop below here at 3.5. If I'm running something, from in this, if I'm running something from in here, okay, then it's all in at the moment, and we'll just see if we can get to 5.5, 6 as a profit, partial exit. If you notice, I don't tend to hold things forever. I like to rather trade it and just take advantage of that leg. So that's a leg up. We know that. We don't know when that's going to run out of steam. That leg up and we get a major contraction. But that's the way I like to trade, is try to take advantage of these. We popped up here. That would be initial. Oh, looking good. Accelerated higher, come back. And maybe in here you could have got a bit of a heads up. That would be a nice little heads up. That look where the stochastics are too. Got back down to oversold, holding higher lows. In here would have been a nice little heads up as an entry. You've done really well all the way up to here. Probably got washed out of some here. But I like to try to take advantage of that leg rather than just hold it and sit through a major correction. If you get a major correction, you can always take it off and re-enter again if it's looking good on the weeklies. But the weekly hasn't got much. It's not saying too much, to be honest. So that weekly, just looking at that weekly, so that last candle, contraction lower, pop up, that could easily project to $6 before, a bit like this candle. Nice little projection and reject 6. You don't know what's going to happen there, but either way, it is looking, the trend is definitely up. And you can see we're probably this weekly, we're getting a bit extended up here, another push higher. Whether it's off the cards or not, who knows? And then we may wash a few people out, take a bigger correction down to 250, whatever, and then take another weekly leg higher. So looking at the dailies then would be great. Does that make sense to everyone then? Or anyone with a different opinion? That's cool. What time are we showing now? Just want to, if there's anything else you want to quickly go for, otherwise I've just got a few things we're looking at. Oh, BRN. This one is for Clement if you watch it later on, or if he's here. This is one we traded before, and Clement, I sort of stopped looking at it. I guess most of you know, I'll spit it out sooner or later. Most of you know that Clement's in here quite a bit, or he watches it later on too, I think. And he's doing really well. And he was watching this and brought it to my attention again. I haven't traded it, and I don't think I would just yet. But it's looking like it's similar type of setup to what we saw previously. And we ran this one up, if I can remember. I'm just trying to find it on the list. It's end of December, so we were in here. We're in here. I think we got it through here. This little push up through here at about 22.5. So we were in just here at that stage, and we run this leg up. I think we got stopped out somewhere, but we took some good little profit on that. 31% and 37%. So the final exit was about 31. And we did leave some on the table. Yep, so we're 31 there. So it looks like we could be seeing that he was looking at this most recent price action. So let's just start off on a weekly. So you can see that we've had push-ups, we've built that base, and that's the reason why we look at it. You built that base around 10 to 12 cents. And you can see just these moves down when they don't take out the low by much, and then you get this little bounce back, especially when the highs, the lower lows are getting lower and lower and lower, if that makes sense. It's starting to squash in on itself, if you can think of it like that. Really contract in on prices contracting lower. The moves through that support is not weak. It pops through, buyers step it back up again and pick it right back up. Then we got this acceleration higher on the weekly. Big pullback, and then that's where we started looking to enter through 22.5, which is looking great. We rode that up there. Ideally, the same thing could happen. So you've got one leg up, two legs up. We could be going through here. Ideal spot 2, extended to the downside. Oversold it as such, but still holding that high low. So that, if that's the case, if you're just sort of measuring, say from 10 up to 32, give or take, 22 cents. It's probably roughly 22. Should be up to about 37. Oh, there you go. That leg up there was 22 cents. If we're looking from 25, that's looking to about 47, 46. So it's got the legs, if that's the case, if we're right, to take us all the way out there, which sort of coincides with that resistance. So ideally, that's a nice little that's got some potential. I haven't traded it, to be honest. I haven't alerted it again, but we'll just see how that plays out. But that's a good structure-wise. It's looking nice. That's a continuation trade. It's not a pullback from contraction to expansion to contraction on a minor scale. Looking to expand that third leg higher, but we'll just have to see how that goes. Alrighty. There was something else. Just go over a couple of things before we knock it on the head. I've got just want to show you just an update on the S&P. If I can find it. Let's get that up. Did anyone who does get the alerts, did you see the S&P alert? I'm very proud of it. If you can tell, or if you can't tell, it just went beautifully. I think we did walk through this, and it's just see that price action, bang, contract lower, bang. It could just keep going. Bit of a washout through here. Was that my? So that all right. So that it's just going great guns, and it's been time after time. So to follow this up, if we just draw it up, so you've got the market's kicked up, well, pretty much all the way up. I mean, you had a little anchor in here, 23.17. The new anchor was here, and that was after we got through that high. You basically your anchor's only when you get within that high. If you get within that high, you can raise your stop up here. We've got another anchor in here. So really, if we're following that up from here, when we alerted to it, we were looking for this little contraction, then pop and just wash out. Because at the time we knew that there was quite a, from what we look at and our proprietary signals, we know that there's a fair few shorts built up, and retail shorts at that. So if you're looking at that and looking at this price structure, that was primed at that time to really wash them out. And you can see that it's banging through, and that would have caught a few people, sellers, in there, and it's popped back up. And then you hold, if you start holding higher lows, you know that anyone that's been shorting it, maybe here, a bit against them there, and they've some more shorters jumped in, some more shorters with a lower high, and especially with that wash down here, maybe some shorters on the break below there. So you know that there's been quite a bit of shorts built up there, which means there's a lot of fuel for it to kick off higher, kick a new leg higher. For that initial, and you could see that with that initial thrust up, they would have taken out a few stops. Good little pullback, maybe some more shorts jumping in, and then that secondary move up. If you're short still, here, you're nuts, if you ask me. Because once it starts lifting off that support, I would have been straight out if I was short, if I didn't have a hard and fast stop in there. And that was nice because you just know, looking at that washout here, that was just awesome price action. Putting all that together as a little story, that was showing us that there's potentially going to be a good squeeze, and it was. It was a good squeeze, and it's turned out to be a beautiful leg up. You can see that this is a half an hour chart. It's just built higher, low, higher, low, higher, low, and it's not finished yet. Really, if you're going to exit, if you're entered somewhere around here, 22.96.7, whatever, you're going to be sitting on 23.32. Is that right? You're up about 35, 30. You're up a lot more than that at the moment, but you could lock in about 30 points on the S&P, which is good. If you're trading the E-mini or if you're trading the CFD, whatever, it's just awesome. So if you get, just, I guess, taking note of what it looks like, who could get squeezed out. If there's a potential for, you can see things building up and people could get squeezed out. Just keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on the price action. And that could be a trigger for a new leg up. We don't know. We just been looking at the Aussie as another little example. So just remember, I guess what I'm trying to say is just you look for areas where you know that the outcome's pretty, what people are seeing, it's nothing new. We can see that, everyone can see the same chart, and just look to see, okay, things are building. If we're getting some lower highs, for instance, what's happening there? The short's building up and the potential, but if it's not breaking and making new lower lows, then you got to be viewing it as maybe it's building for a short squeeze. The Aussie was another one we were looking at. Okay, alerting it last night. I like this level. which it didn't pan out beautiful. We got the direction right, and it did turn out exactly like we expected, but it was a massive wash. That was 11:30, so that was just prior to some numbers. Actually, it was right on the numbers, so they got hammered over the US numbers, which, so be it. But the actual trades turned out ideal. It's just touched down in the support level. We know that, again, looking at that structure on the 30-minute, that price action, it's come down. It's holding lower highs. It's come down. It's just built off that level. It's popped back up, but it's still holding well within that 76.96 or 7,700. We got that big push down, so there's probably going to be a fair few shorts built up. And again, from the proper proprietary indicators that we look at, was showing that they were built up as sort of heavily skewed to the downside with sellers. So looking at that, looking at the price structure, at the time I was hoping this would hold up 76.55 and squeeze them all out. It didn't, and pretty much what it did is attracted some more selling through here. Sellers jumped in, maybe it stops above here, so there's even more fuel. MAs didn't cross, which is always a nice little sign, got to oversold, so that bounced back hard and just washed everyone back out to the top side. So it is in the process of squeezing them out, and I think it's probably heading back up to 77.50, even higher. Could go through there, but another little example of just squeezing the market out when there's a whole lot of fuel potentially built up one side. Start looking for squeezes, whether a whole lot of buyers built up and then a squeeze out or a wash out of the downside. It doesn't happen so much on stocks as such. It can wash them out, like we've seen before. Not all stocks, but some do. But it happens a lot on the FX and the futures, things like indices, if you trade in indices. So you just keep an eye on that sort of stuff. Any questions there, guys, before we probably not a lot more that I was just going to talk about, but they're the two ones I just wanted to quickly whip over. I know we've spoken about it before, but something definitely to keep in your repertoire and just watch for. Watch for washouts, watch for that sort of stuff there. All right, if there's no more questions or anything, I know I've just got a bit of a delay there. We might call it a day there, guys. We'll just see what's happening with the latest in the ASX. Not doing a bucket load. Just to let you know, where's the SPY? That's not it. It's not. It's still stuck in that range anyway. Anyone's got interest in that? All right. All right, guys. Thank you very much for joining us. I hope you have a good weekend. We won't be speaking tomorrow, but we'll try and do a video for tomorrow again. If you've got any topics that you want to whack through for a video, anything, even random ones, it doesn't matter. It's just always interesting. We can have a chat about it. So you can send it through to support@tradesetup.com.au, or just put it in the. Oh, it's no good putting in the chat, isn't it? Maybe you have to email it through. So email it through the like I said, support@tradesetup.com.au, and we'll go from there. Anyway, thanks for joining us, guys. Like I said, if you did like what you see, and if you are linked into us on YouTube, we'd appreciate it if you just whack in a like. For me, please. I'll even leave a comment if you can. That'd be awesome. Anyway, thanks for joining us, guys. We'll speak to you soon. Have a good weekend.